the slides advance? Okay, I can touch it. Okay. Once you start. Okay. Is the okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start in just a minute. Just letting some people get into the room, make sure everybody's in the room before we start. So just about 1 more minute until we'll start the presentation. Okay, we all set? We ready? Okay. Good morning, everybody. I'm Libby Crawford. I'm the Director of Business Opportunity Initiatives at NDOT. We're here at the Seymour office this morning for our public meeting regarding the DBE public waiver. I have various NDOT staff with me that are monitoring the chat. So if you have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat and we will answer them if we can. We will compile a question and answer session after the 3 public meetings, and we'll post that online. Stephanie, if you could put your question in the chat. I'm not taking questions online at this point in time. Just put it in the chat and the staff will monitor it for you. NDOT staff here with me today in person. I have DBE Program Administrator Sarah Mobley, Melissa Murphy, who is the Resource Development Program Administrator, certification staff, and then supportive services staff as well. So we're just going to go through the brief slide presentation and then we will go from there. Is the volume okay? Nobody's saying it's not. Okay. Thank you so much. So understanding NDOT's DBE waiver request, I can just click on this slide, is that right? Okay. Okay, so we are seeking a waiver from the, I didn't move it. Okay, hang on everybody, technical difficulty, just a second. Go there. Okay, perfect. Okay, so the introduction and purpose here. NDOT seeking a waiver from the federal requirements to implement race and gender conscious components in the DBE program. Our goal here really is to create a sustainable DBE program based solely on the economic disadvantaged criteria that are laid out in the Code of Federal Regulations. Our current status, and this is important for our current DBE community. The DBE program is unchanged. It will remain unchanged unless and until USDOT approves our waiver or offers further guidance. We will make updates to the DBE community and our community as a whole as soon as they become available to us. What is the current timeline? That's a question we've had during the public meetings this week. So currently we're in the public comment session. We're going to leave public comments open for 30 days from Monday. There are various ways, and we'll talk about this at the end, various ways that you can provide public comment to the proposal. And we would highly encourage that public comment from a variety of sources because USDOT really needs to understand the impact the program is having on our program participants and what potential impact the waiver could also have on our participants. So we've had a variety of stakeholders at various meetings, and so that public comment is really going to be critical so that USDOT can understand the perspective of our DBE community. So why are we filing a waiver? There are 4 different reasons. The first is constitutional compliance. We're trying to align with the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The second is we're trying to support Governor Braun's agenda. So Governor Braun's goal is fostering a supportive environment for entrepreneurship and for economic growth, and this waiver is in line with that agenda. Next is the Surface Transportation Reauthorization of 2026. So the US DOT has stated goals of innovation, cost effectiveness, and efficiency in project delivery, and this waiver supports those efforts as well. As you may know, the DBE program would need to be readopted as a part of the overall Surface Transportation Reauthorization in 2026. And last, an economic focus. So we would establish a DBE program based on the small business criteria laid out in the CFR. If you're not aware, there are 3 separate categories of economic criteria that are laid out in the CFR. The first is the personal net worth criteria for the owner of the business, the applicant business. The second is that the business has caps based on their North American Industry Classification or NICS codes. And the third is that there is an overall business size cap for the program based on small business standards that is adjusted for inflation each year based on the new rules that came out in May of 2024. So all of those 3 economic criteria would still need to be met if our waiver is granted. So what adjustments will we make if the waiver is approved? First, in certification, new DBE applicants must qualify as economically disadvantaged under the current SBA guidelines and the CFR. And those are the 3 categories I just talked about. They would need to meet all 3 of those standards in order to be qualified as a DBE. This is important for existing DBEs. Existing DBEs, if the waiver is granted, we've requested that they be placed in the program under the waiver, and they would simply affirm their continued eligibility upon scheduling the declaration of eligibility. So annually each year, DBEs currently have to fill out an affidavit saying they continue to meet the eligibility standards of the program. That's exactly what we do here if the waiver is granted. Goal setting. No contract-specific DBE goals will be set based on race, ethnicity, or gender. We would instead set goals based on economic disadvantage. In the waiver, we propose that the goal remain at 9.94% for construction projects through September of 2028. As you know, consultant goals are set based on the dollar value of the project, and that would not change. And all of the compliance efforts that we currently do, including pre-letting and post-letting good faith efforts, would remain in place as well. So things like a change in utilization, commercially useful function review, evaluation of the goal at the time of letting before award, all of those things would remain in place if the waiver is granted, which continues to put compliance responsibilities onto the program as they already exist. And then supportive services, we would continue to provide supportive services free of charge. And I'm going to let Zola talk just a little bit about what those supportive services would be.
Hi, everybody. I am Zola Lamoth, our Business Development Program Manager. So last winter, we conducted a town hall virtually and in person to learn more about what the DBE community is looking for. And so out of that town hall, we learned that our DBE community really wants to work more with Prime. So they would like more networking opportunities. So to provide that opportunity, we will be bringing back our DBE forum this December. Another thing that we learned is that there's a real need for bidding education. So we've decided to launch a DBE Academy. This will be an opportunity for our certified businesses to learn more about industry practices. And we really want to focus and make sure that we have a bidding class for you all. And then next, we literally heard that there was a problem and a need for access to capital. So we're excited to announce that we are going to be bringing back our reimbursement program. So last year we had a pilot program for contractors for the financial audit reimbursements. And then this year we're going to open it up to consultants. Those reimbursements will be for $5,000 when you're pursuing your financial audits for pre-qualification. And then we're also going to be adding a hauler reimbursement program for $2,500. That's what you can look forward to. And then after having that town hall, we also really enjoyed being able to just meet with the DBE community kind of one on one. So we're pursuing an advisory committee full of DBE so we can continue to have those conversations and just really let the DBEs have influence on the programming that we offer. So thanks.
Thank you so much, Lola. Okay. So in conclusion, the waiver request allows NDOT to operate an economically focused DBE program. It also allows us to enhance contracting access for small businesses without relying on race and gender. And that's really critical in our current environment because race and gender are the current issues that are not narrowly tailoring programs that can cause issues. And so the narrowly tailored approach will help us achieve the current objectives of the CFR while still maintaining the current class of the DBE community. Um, so there are 4 ways that you can provide public comment for this. Again, the public comment is open for a 30-day period of time. This is our final public meeting in regards to presenting the waiver plan, but 30 days, and we again really encourage a wide variety of comments so that we can have a clear understanding of what the DBE community and others feel this waiver may have as an impact on their businesses. So there are 4 ways you can provide public comment. The first is you can scan the QR code that's on the presentation slide here and provide comment. You can provide public comment in person at any public meeting through a written form. You can provide comment via the Teams chat, and that's being recorded and will be passed on. Finally, you can provide comment via our customer service line, which is 855 N.4U. And those comments will also find their way to us as well. So if you have any questions at this time, we're happy to answer. Let me just escape myself out of the presentation, and then we'll go from there. Zola, you're monitoring the chat. Are there any questions in the chat currently? Okay, let's wait just a few minutes to make sure that there are no questions in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have. If you have questions after this presentation, I would encourage you to contact us via the customer service line and they will get us inquiries. Also, I wanted to mention that if there are individual DBEs that have comments, we may very well follow up with you individually regarding your comments so we can make sure that we truly understand your perspective and make sure that we're recording that as a part of our public obligation for the waiver request. Do you see any questions at this point? No. Okay. If you could type your questions into the chat rather than raising hands, that is the way that we can record the information. If you're not comfortable typing a question in the chat, you can contact our customer service line and we can answer those questions as they come into the customer service line. No questions at all then? Okay. So I don't see any questions that have come in. Again, I would encourage you to use those 4 ways that we laid out to talk through the public comment session and provide information to NDOT so that we can make the best decision possible regarding the potential waiver. If you have questions again that come up as a part of your review, questions that come up as you talk to fellow DBEs, please reach out to us so that we can answer those questions. Sure.
If a DBE is a consultant and a contractor, which NAICS codes are they governed by?
Okay, Jerry, that's a great question. The answer is both. So each individual NICS code or North American Industry Classification Code, each of them has their own economic threshold. And so theoretically, you could meet the economic threshold for one category and not meet the other. So you may have that NICS code removed if you meet the ceiling, but still maintain the others. I hope that makes sense.
That says, can you send video?
So the video will be posted online. This is a public meeting. And so all three of the public meetings that have taken place will be published online. Yes, they'll be on the NDOT YouTube page and they'll be posted on our website. Do we know about how long that will take? Okay, so next week it should be posted on the NDOT website. Any other questions at all? No, okay. Well, thank you so much for attending. We really appreciate your time. We look forward to hearing from you and have a great day.